DistroKid has been the industry standard for getting your newly created music out to the streaming platforms, and now the DistroKid app is now available on iOS and Android. Yeah, check that out. The app is now available on your phone. Go to the app or Play Store and download it. There's so many features inside this app. You can do things like sign up and pay for a new DistroKid account. You can upload your new releases there. You can see your DistroKid bank and withdraw your earnings. You even get notified when you've earned royalties and withdraw from the app via push notifications. You can see hyperfollow links. You can edit your account details. You can see your streaming stats from Spotify and Apple. You can even edit and add lyrics to your songs there. So like I said, go over to the App Store on iOS or Android and download the DistroKid app now. Also, they have this new feature called Mixia. I know a lot of artists struggle to be prolific and make their music sound as good as the music they hear from their influences and their peers. That's where Mixia comes in. Nothing's ever going to replace the artistry and expertise of a real human mastering engineer. But for artists who are short on time or resources, Mixia is a powerful tool to help make the music sound great in a hurry. Simple interface, empowering the most novice of music creators. It's got unlimited song previews of mastered songs with one free download, and for $99 you get unlimited mastered tracks. So go check out Mixia and make sure to go to the App Store and download the DistroKid app so that you can get your music out there and get it heard. You're doing your thing and they're helping you do it. DistroKid.
No Simple Road. Yeah, here we go.
I know the road may seem to go on forever and a lifetime.
Is there you really do think that there's a difference between doo-doo and dookie?
Yes, absolutely.
For real?
Yes.
What's the difference between doo-doo and dookie?
Dookie seems sloppy and gross. Like, that's some dookie over there. But also,
but doo-doo is nicer?
Doo-doo's cuter.
Doo-doo is cuter.
Like if a kid was like, I went dookie, you'd be like, oh no.
All right, you're right.
Or like, I went doo-doo, you'd be like, oh,
cute.
That's cute.
Okay, true. I stand corrected.
Is that how you wanted to open this episode?
Yeah, that was bird doo-doo out there, not dookie. You're correct. Yeah. Hey now, No Simple Road family, we're back. It's Aaron.
It's Mel.
We had to think about it for a minute. And this is Apple.
Hey,
well, I was wondering if I wanted to claim that conversation.
You're claiming it. We were talking about it when we were walking down here. I just was continuing the conversation.
I get it.
Yeah, I mean, they're allowed to hear.
You're true.
That's
you're
true. Hey man, we're letting you behind the curtain of what happens at No Simple Road headquarters when you're not around. That's the stuff we're talking about. Deep, heady shit. Like is doo-doo or dookie different?
And by the way, let's get my elephant out of the room here.
There's an elephant?
Today, as you're listening to this, is my 56th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Apple.
I'm
recording on your birthday
56.
day. Apple.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Wow.
And it actually falls on, this is the first time in a while, it fell on Memorial Day.
Check this out. Diddle-loo, diddle-loo, diddle-loo. Take us back, Apple, to 1969.
5:55 a.m. I was born.
5:55.
1969.
What?
Yep.
What were you thinking?
Do you think that little boy could have possibly known
I was thinking that
the gentleman that you could be today?
Yeah, I went and looked at the clock and I was like, oh, that sounds like a Mike Gordon song.
Dope fish tune.
Yep.
Hey, everybody, it's Monday and we are back for another episode of No Simple Road. Yeah, I said that. It's not the rewind right now.
No,
we're actually bringing you an interview on a Monday. I told you the last couple of weeks, we're changing stuff up.
We're doing what we want around here.
I'm not adhering to strict guidelines or schedules
Bless you.
Around here anymore.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. And I even had to tell you to buckle up a little bit.
Buckle up?
Well, like
buckle down, you mean?
Maybe.
Or buckle up.
Yeah.
If you were
down.
sloppy, then like buckle up.
Well,
like,
no.
Okay, what I really meant was like, hey, don't be so lackadaisical.
That we don't
about
put anything out ever. No,
Shit,
I'm
it's
not.
been like
come
forever.
on.
No, I'm
But
not doing
okay,
that.
now that you got that out of the way, Apple, let's hear about your birthday month, your birthday year, how you have been.
Birthday year.
This is Apple's kind of.
No, this is Mason's episode.
Well, I was just gonna say it's
Okay.
Apple's birthday / Mason's episode.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say that, but you
Well,
didn't.
first
let
let's
me
say this
finish
is
saying it.
Mason's episode. I'm sorry I missed the interview, Mason. I had to work. I really love the new album and everything, and I look forward to hearing this conversation you had with Aaron and Mel.
and everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
So tell us about your
So,
birthday.
well, in a nutshell, my year since last year,
Yeah.
I've
55. That's pretty prominent.
I've gotten better at my job. I've been being pretty healthy. I'm back on the health track because of like everybody I think knows I've been having a skin issue.
I don't know if they do know that.
Now they
allergy
do.
thing. I think I brought it up on here. Anyway, I'm figuring that out. I'm on like
A meal plan,
adding stuff back. What do you call it?
elimination
diet. Yeah, and I have not. That was my wish the other day. I was talking to my dad, and he's like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I was like, "To not itch." So
did you get your birthday wish?
Yeah, I went to
Yay.
the dermatologist to follow up the next day and got a little more medication and went on the elimination diet, and I haven't itched since then.
Let's hear it for
actually
Apple,
slept.
everybody. Let's go. Yay,
that-
Apple. Happy birthday.
That's a great birthday
Fuck yeah,
gift
man.
when you've been itching.
So do you feel
and
good
tired.
going into
I-
this 56th
Yes, I feel
year?
good, and I feel like this happened for a reason. I'm like on this
Like
elimination
what?
diet, like get healthy again. I backslid and got sloppy with my diet.
You got
and
dookie with your diet.
yeah, I got a little dookie with my
Doo-doo.
diet and got off track, and now this is making me get on track, right? Right in time for my birthday.
Right
You know
on.
what else is in time for
I'm
your
proud
birthday?
of you, Apple. That's really cool that you
What?
did that.
What else is in time for your birthday is Shop Tour Bus, our sponsor. You
That's
can go
right.
over there. They are just in time for your birthday, bringing you the coolest Grateful Dead inspired merch on the planet. Go to shoptourbus.com or at shoptourbus on Instagram and check out all the designs they have, man. They're going to blow your mind.
They
That's
are.
that's all I
They
have to say
really
about
are.
that. And
And they're the most comfy, as I always say. I'm all about the comfort.
that's
and
true. Put in the
damn, they're
promo code
comfortable.
No Simple Road, all one
No
word when you're
Simple
checking out. You're going to
Road.
get free shipping. You're going to get that hand designed box. You might even get a miracle bootleg in your order. But yeah, dude, 56, that's no small feat, man.
No,
Look at their butt size, 10 and a half.
no,
Just
it
kidding.
it's not. Especially like we talked about our history and stuff. Sometimes I'm impressed we made it out of our 20s, and to be at 56, that's pretty big.
Yeah, I
A
mean,
little itchy at 56.
I'll take
That's
a little
pretty
itchy at
good.
56.
Yeah, not bad. Well, like when I was at the dermatologist, same thing, but she was nicer about it than other doctor. When you don't list a list of medications, it's like you forgot to fill out your medication part of your intake form, and she was like, "Good for you," and like high-fived me.
Hell yeah.
And it was like, and she didn't really want to put me on the steroids, but it's what knocked it out at first, and now I'm doing better.
You know,
And it feels good.
You know what else is amazing is the custom tie-dyes that Travis does over
Oh,
from our sponsor at the Grateful Mountain.
Grateful Mountain.
Go to
What?
thegratefulmountain.com.
Have
Check
you been
out.
to the Grateful Mountain?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been there. Go
yeah.
check out all the amazing tie-dye work he's doing. It's pretty mind-blowing
Yes.
stuff and
But it's also crafted with love.
intention. And Travis is the homie. So.
Yeah, and he will dye just about anything for you. He does all customs and has stuff on the website. And
Go follow him
Good
on
to go.
Instagram at the Grateful Mountain and slide into his DMs if you want something custom done, or go over to the shop at thegratefulmountain.com and check out all the designs and what's going on. And when you check out, put in the promo code NSR20. You're going to get 20% off and free shipping in the contiguous United States.
And he's been
Mountain.
kicking out some dope stickers lately.
Yeah.
He comes up with great designs for stickers. So if you like the slaps, you can go on over there and
You're a
get
talented human being, Travis.
We love you, Travis.
We love your digs.
You guys, our guest on the show this week is none other than Mason Vaya.
Yay!
He is a former member of Old Crow Medicine Show, and he has busted out on his own. He just put out his self-titled album and called Mason Vaya, obviously. And we were super stoked to have him on the show.
It was such a great conversation. Thank you so much, Mason, for coming on. And just the more bluegrass and bluegrass adjacent artists we have, like they all run into each other, they all play with each other, and it's so cool, like seeing them all rise to this wonderful, to this, I don't know what's the
and
word?
It was dope to have a conversation with him about
Rise.
trying to, or coming to figure out where you are as a musician and what you're trying to create.
What does coming out mean to you? You know what I mean? Like, cause that was his, album, self-titled, but now, like, when you've had experiences, you've toured, you've played with other people, some greats. And so like, what do you say now? And not even just
and
what
how
do you
want to say it?
Yes, that. How do you want to say it?
And it's cool to talk to somebody that's vulnerable enough to share.
Yeah,
like that.
in the moment.
Yeah. And
so thanks for that, Mason. That was really awesome.
Really awesome. And he's got a dope backstory too.
Yeah.
He grew up
very much.
really cool. I'm sad you weren't here for this one.
But don't say more because this is for them to.
Well, I was ready for this one too. I've listened to his album like several times this week, driving around for work and stuff. So
what's he got coming up tour wise? Is he going to be, he told us he's going to be on the road.
Yeah. He's, let's see, May 30th, back on the road. All Florida, Missouri, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana, all over like the Midwest. And then he is coming out this way, July 11th and 12th will be in
Sisters
in California.
Oh, in California?
Yeah,
Okay.
Hot Monk Tavern 2 nights in a row.
Sisters was in
and
September.
then at the West Marin Fiddle Camp.
Yeah,
That's
he talked
cool.
a lot
July
about that stuff
13th.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's going to be playing the Sisters Festival in Sisters, Oregon, I think in August or September.
Yeah,
So
I was looking for that.
you can
that's
go to,
not up here yet.
Go to masonvia.com. That's MASONVIA.com. You can find out all his tour information. You can see some videos. You can get lessons from him, more. So, yeah.
And
the website is the spot.
They are newlyweds. So congratulations to Mason and his beautiful wife.
And hey, everybody, if you're out there and you're wondering what you should do for the next 3 months, you should go check out our sponsor on Instagram at Melt Mushrooms.
Yeah.
They are the best purveyors of mushroom chocolates on the planet. Go follow at Melt Mushrooms. Slide into their DMs. Tell them No Simple Road sent you. You're going to get 20% off your bars. There's
And then comes the tough part.
picking out which flavor bar you want.
Yeah, they have like 10 flavors of candy bars, and they have 4 flavors of gummies now. They have capsules if you can't
You can't
do those.
make a wrong choice.
No.
No, there's a lot of options, and they're all amazing.
And this is lovingly made with the best intentions for your mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional well-being. There's 4 grams of their sacred mushroom blend in every bar, a bunch of adaptogens, and really, really top shelf gourmet chocolate in the bars. So if you're a chocolate connoisseur like I am, this is it. This is the spot.
Well, and this is the time of year where everybody starts going out into nature and camping, and there's nothing like a nice melt mushroom bar
Or a
when
little
you're
attitude
camping.
adjustment.
Yeah,
you know?
so go follow him on Instagram at Melt Mushrooms. DM him, tell him No Simple Road sent you, and that is how that will happen. They'll send it right to you.
So I noticed a pattern with intention and our sponsors.
Yeah, we find sponsors for No Simple Road that intentionally do what they want. We're not just hawking bullshit on the show, and we're not taking on sponsors that are hawking bullshit. We're taking on sponsors that care about what they do and the products that they create and they care about the people that they're making them for.
Yes.
So
I like that word.
Well put, babe.
Hawking bullshit.
yeah, I don't
That
want
could be
bullshit
like you're
hawkers around.
hawking, or you're like hawking up bullshit. Like either way, it's bullshit.
Yeah, man. And just to like reiterate, No Simple Road isn't going anywhere, everybody. We're not done. We're just,
Why have you been getting comments?
I think I've had a couple people ask in the DMs like, hey, what's going on? And we're just changing up the format, everybody. I had a really rigid thing going on for myself, and it's not healthy for my mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. So I needed to loosen the reins on how we do No Simple Road, but we are going to bring you episodes every week. We're going to be here. Don't worry. Don't fret. Okay.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
fret.
fret. This
You ain't
is
seen
good. This
nothing
is
yet.
good for Aaron's mental health and ours. It's been very chill.
Yeah.
And Aaron just keeps getting better on the guitar every day.
Aaron keeps getting better at everything. Let me just tell you that.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
This is, you know what? You asked Apple how the year's been. This has been the hardest year I've had since we moved to Oregon. By far.
It's going in backwards, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like-
This has been rough.
Usually when you first get somewhere, it's really hard to transition.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like it's either
No, when we moved here, it was like a honeymoon. It was. And,
It really was.
And I still feel like that about Oregon and where we live and our house and living together and all that is still dope. I'm talking about like personally, this has been.
interpersonally.
No.
Or
just
career.
Personally, career wise.
Okay.
Stuff, Aaron wise. Yeah.
Aaron stuff.
Yeah. So it's, I had to make a decision to take care of myself, man. And I love what we've built and I want to keep doing it. And I want it to be the best it can be for me and for everybody that listens.
Yeah.
So instead of pushing myself to just put it out, here we are. This is what we're doing,
Here
everybody.
we
And so
are.
go to NoSimpleRoad.com. You can check out all of our stuff there. All of our back episodes are there. You can get No Simple Road merch. You can get a tarot reading from me and Mel.
That's
Nobody
right.
signed up for a tarot reading in a while.
Yeah.
Go over there. Sign
and
up.
they're pretty fun.
Yeah. You can follow us on social media at No Simple Road. You can go to patreon.com/No Simple Road. That is how you can support us monetarily and financially assist us in continuing to do No Simple Road. I mean, you could sign up for like $1,
Road.
man. Just saying.
Every
Do it.
buck matters.
That's right.
The cute dollars.
You can
Cute
call
dollars. We haven't talked about those in a while.
No, we haven't. You can call 971-808-1524. That's the No Simple Road tepid line. You got 3 minutes to say whatever the fuck you want. Go over there, call us, tell us a story. 971-808-1524. Please do that now. We'll wait. Just kidding. We're not going to wait. Also, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Go over there, hit the 5-star button, or leave us a little review with your thumbs and tell everybody what you think about the show.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you do it, right?
Yeah. Haven't had one since the end of March and asking somebody out there, give me a birthday wish and
Ooh,
leave a
birthday
review
wish.
today on May 26th. It's my birthday.
It's Apple's birthday,
And then
everybody.
there's one in there for the month of May. I'd love it.
All right. Yep. Somebody give Apple a birthday present on Apple Podcasts
Oh my
by
God.
leaving us a review.
Yeah.
But most of all, you know the thing. Tell somebody you love about No Simple Road because that is how we spread the mycelial network. That is this show and family of ours. And we love all y'all. And so spread the word. That helps us more than you know. Should we do the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope everybody had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. And it's the time of year that's just so beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
Spring is winding down. Summer is getting ready
spring
to
has
kick in.
sprung.
And here we go. All right. Without further ado, the No Simple Road crew gives you
Mason Via.
Broke down out on the run again. Far cry from where I belong. Hard times, sirens running round the bend. Police is coming. They don't know right from wrong. Somehow I got that engine turned over. I rev it up, now we're having some fun. Them blue lights can't get any closer. I leave them in the dust saying, there goes another one. No highway to yesterday. I'm heading straight for the setting sun. When it's gone, all you can say is there goes another one, there goes another one. There goes another one. Southbound, now I'm off to the races. Got me a hideaway up in the hills. A devil like me can wear many faces, and there ain't many places I can lie still. Hand me a honey, waiting at the hive. She keeps asking about the things I've done. I told her Johnny Law wants me dead or alive. Now she's out the door. There goes another one. No highway to yesterday. I'm heading straight for the setting sun. When it's gone, all you can say is there goes another one. There goes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
How's it going, y'all?
What's going on, man?
Awesome. What's that
Good to be
adorable
here.
background?
So this is actually like the background for it's just kind of a still frame of this music video that I made with it's a cartoon music video. This guy, Skylar Wilson, he does this thing called Skybone cartoons.
Okay.
And he did a cartoon music video for my first single off this past album, Falling. And so it's basically kind of supposed to be a little cartoon me and my girl, they're falling in love, but it's like, it's more of a visualizer kind of thing where like they're falling through the universe and all this stuff is happening. They end up smoking a joint and partying at the Grateful Dead concert, in the middle of it. It's pretty wild.
I love in the video that happens.
Yeah. Just look it up on YouTube. Falling.
Absolutely. That's my homework for after our interview. I love it.
Yeah. So that's the background. I set it forever ago just as something, when I had a bunch of messy stuff behind me. It looks better, I think.
No, it's great.
You just got Mel. She loves anything cute.
Yeah. It's adorable. And the fact that it's you and your girl, that's even better.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, man? I'm Aaron.
Nice to meet y'all. Yeah. I'm glad we're finally getting to do
Finally
this.
did it, man. Yeah. Sorry about all that.
My name is
kerfuffle.
Mel. So nice that you're on, Mason. How's everything been? What's going on?
Oh, I'm finally getting a little break, which I'm stoked about. I've just been touring like crazy, driving the roads and sleeping on people's couches, different place every night, playing to the folks and bringing them to, the music, getting people dancing, getting them clapping, singing along. And
how's
it's
it been?
a lot of fun.
How's the tour been so far? Yeah.
It's been well received. I feel like, I've been trying to figure out how to, it's like a balance though, because I like to hang out and pick and party and play music with everybody after the show, see all these people I hadn't seen in these, parts of the country that I hadn't been to in a while and hang out. I've been just trying to find the balance of like, okay, how many times can I do that and not lose my voice or something,
exactly.
keep it going where I'm not getting sick out there. But other than that, it's been great.
It's hard to find balance in life, period.
Well,
yes.
I would think touring is imbalanced. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's like, if we're putting things on the scale, that's like a lot on the scale side, because you're like having to stay up late, you're performing, you're having to rehearse, you have to move from different city to city. So it's not like a routine. This is like a crazy.
No. Sometimes it can be when it's like just me.
Okay.
But when I have like a band with me, it's more temptation for me to like want to hang out with them and pick and talk all day long. And
when you have your band, how many people is it usually?
Well, see, that's the thing. It's always a different band right now. I don't have a steady band, which, y'all could be a member of it one day. Who knows?
Hey, you never know.
Hey, come to Portland.
Mel plays banjo. I play guitar. You never know.
Yeah. I'm playing out there at this Sisters Folk Festival. Where is that? Somewhere in Oregon. I'm trying to
probably in Sisters, Oregon.
It's Sisters. Yeah.
Sisters, Oregon.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the place. Okay, yeah, I'm playing out there in I believe it's September, the end of September, last week of September.
Mason,
I'll be out there teaching some camps.
It's one of the most beautiful places on the planet.
Yeah, Sisters is beautiful.
If y'all are free, I'll get y'all in. Seriously,
Hell yeah.
just shoot me a text and
September.
come on out.
Right.
It's talking about balance, man. Like when you start dreaming of playing music, I would imagine you don't think about all the stuff that goes into what it's going to take to be able to do it. And then once you start like touring and being on the road and being in a van and sleeping on couches, is the reality of the thing anything like you thought it was going to be when you were dreaming about it?
Oh, it's really starting to. So it's kind of funny. So like a little, brief history about me before doing my
have
own
to be
thing.
brief.
Okay, yeah. I used to be a member of Old Crow Medicine Show.
Yep.
And can y'all hear me? I'm kind of sitting out here on the porch with a whole bunch of cars going by. I was just wondering if that was if it's too loud or
can't
not.
Hear
I
any
can go
background
inside.
noise or anything. You sound great.
Okay, cool. So, I used to tour with this band, Old Crow Medicine Show, and before that, I had kind of, I grew up in a musical family. My father is an award-winning bluegrass songwriter, and he had a little bit of a jam band, kind of jamgrass following around North Carolina and Virginia. growing up, seeing what that looked like, kind of going with him to the different festivals he was playing at. And my mom, she got me into the Grateful Dead and went to, my first, The Dead is what it was called, concert when I was 11 years old, and remember seeing the lot scene there. That was wild.
Hell yeah.
And just, she was a Deadhead back in college and toured around with the dang in a burrito bus is what she called it, like slinging bean and cheese, burritos to all the different looks and festival goers over there and selling soap on a rope. And but so I just kind of grew up in this kind of festival community. But I take most of my knowledge of what I know from fiddlers conventions, which are kind of these festivals where the pick-in and the show is really in the campground, and that's kind of really where the action is happening versus the stage where there's these competitions, but there's a lot of, I guess, duds, so to speak, a lot of people who are just kind of competing just to compete for fun. And some of the magic is really in the campground, and there's a lot of community that was built there. And I learned a lot through doing that, but I'm getting off topic a little bit, but
no, it's okay. Go ahead.
Basically I did some of my own music, toured around locally, but I really jumped to the top of, from the bottom of the lineup to the top of the lineup when I was a member of Old Crow Medicine Show, and then jumping on the tour bus for the first time. And I really learned about this is how a real business does this through doing that. But now I'm kind of getting, it's all about the journey, and the journey's where it's at really more than anything, and that's where the fun is. So I'm getting to kind of where I dreamed of thinking what doing music for a living would be. I'm starting to get to that point where in my head, it's touring around in a van with a band that is committed and everybody's kind of doing the same dream. You got fans that come out each show that feel like family. And that's starting to really kind of become the actual thing of when I was a kid dreaming of doing this for a living, it's starting to finally become that, the Old Crow gig, it was so big that there was a lot of steps on the ladder that I missed, I guess, that weren't exactly kind of how I pictured doing this thing, for a living and for fun.
Right.
You kind of it becomes less personal, I guess, at some level when you start playing in front of thousands of people all the time, and just playing at these performing arts centers, and there's less engagement, I guess, sometimes with the crowd.
Not as intimate.
Yeah, it's not as intimate, and there's, I guess, a culture of some of these venues that are 1,000 cap and lower that that's kind of where I think of the fest scene is at. I mean, festivals have it too, but I guess I dreamed of it a certain way where it's kind of like you're getting to go on the road and be family with all your fans as well as the other musicians. And with Old Crow, there I got some of that, but it was definitely more of a business and more like, you're there for a day, you're there to work, you're there to play the gig, and then so I'm excited to kind of do it on my own and live it out kind of the way I was thinking of when I was a kid. Finally.
Do you think that skipping steps on the ladder with Old Crow helped or hindered you now?
Oh, I mean, I think it helped a lot to be able to kind of jump as a great launching point. Now I kind of see what that looks like there. And now I can kind of figure out where I want to go on the ladder and where I want to end up, because maybe I don't want to end up at that point. Maybe I want to end up in a different one. I mean, I'd like to make as much money as possible, I guess. But
Me too, brother.
But I mean, it is fun. I mean, there's also issues, I guess, when you start getting super famous that I don't want to. I mean, I'm going on here trying to push my stuff and get
Right.
known by people. But I don't know if I want to get to the point of some of these people where you're just in tabloids all the time and stuff. That would kind
Yeah.
of suck.
Right.
And there's got to be like a sweet spot, you know, that you can feel comfortable, like you said, hanging out after a show with your family, your fans, your family, your band, but then also, you know, still be able to like walk in the store and buy yourself a iced tea without too much paparazzi, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that kind of can really, like, it's just a lot harder to do something like that when you have that added element in it, when you're in it for the music. And like you said, yeah, I want to make money, but I also want to do this because I love it.
You know, I think the one example that we have right now of somebody that's doing what you're talking about is Billy. You know?
Yes.
It's like he's as big as you can get, and still there's videos of him picking in the lot with people. He's doing both things, you know what I mean? Kind of straddling both worlds. And so it's possible. It's not an impossible dream, you know?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
I think too, like the rise of bluegrass acceptance that's going on right now too is like, it makes the opportunity for you to be able to break out even that much more. You know, it seems to me that bluegrass has had this huge resurgence in the past, I don't know, 8 years. When you think?
Oh, I definitely agree. I think Billy is, you know, it's hard to not talk about him, really.
Right.
And I've met him a couple times. He's a really nice guy, but he's really done so much for the genre, as well as you know, Sturgill doing that bluegrass album, and Alison Krauss coming back recently, and you know, and my buddy Sierra Farrell, who's you know, been blowing up, and I've known her for years and just watched that whole process. Her band and her are all my buddies, so it's so cool to see that progression for her, you know.
Yeah, we just had her on a couple of months ago, and yeah, that arc is awesome to watch. And like when it happens to somebody that's like a genuinely awesome human being, like a good person, you're just like, it's that much more you're cheering for him. Like, yeah, you deserve that. Go, you know?
Yeah.
But when you're talking about like the fame thing, you brought up Sturgill, like, I think there comes a point where you have to decide for yourself what you're willing to allow in your life, as far as like your career and your music and your availability to the people that want to shake your hand and get to know you and all that.
Yeah,
like,
and talk to you like this or whatever.
He's obviously and very kind of publicly struggled with that. You know what I mean? And pulled himself back, even changed his name, you know, to kind of take the heat off of him. And it's tough. Like we were talking about in the beginning, when you're sitting in your room as a kid, listening to Dead tunes and picking at festivals, and you think of this thing, I don't think that we understand the totality of what we're asking for. And so I think you having toured with Old Crow, in my opinion, gave you a leg up, because now you can see how the big machine works and decide for yourself kind of where you want to be in the mix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So with the new album, man, tell me about the process.
So that, you know, this album was something I recorded while I was in Old Crow, and kind of didn't exactly expect at the time I was recording it for it to be the kind of going out album, but it just kind of turned, and you know, it just kind of the pieces fell into play where that was kind of the case. And so, but we, you know, I went to record it and had a bunch of these songs, some that I had written with my buddy Charlie Chamberlain specifically to be like for a different project. And I, long story short, just took all these songs that, regardless of what my original intentions of them were to be. And we went in, we're like, we're just going to make them bluegrass anyway, because they're good songs. We just want to record these songs. One of those was like Melting the Sun, which that originally was not written to be a bluegrass song. It was more like going to be a psychedelic indie rock kind of thing.
Right.
Like War on Drugs. But and it kind of sounds like that acoustified or whatever, now, but instead of an electric guitar solo and a bunch of synths and crazy stuff there, it's a mandolin solo.
Okay.
I love it. We were just listening to it right before we got here, because I did hear you talking about that on another interview about going to Bonnaroo and kind of getting, introduced to it in a certain kind of a way, and it inspiring you. Like when it comes to festivals and seeing other bands that you've never seen, and maybe even not bluegrass but different kinds, what kind of stuff are you excited about and want to incorporate into your music? Going, you know what I mean? Like when you go to festivals or different, shows. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So there's a couple bands that I've seen so there's different things that I love. I love just seeing raw emotion and raw talent and just kind of stripped down stuff. And that inspires me. But then there's bands that have big production, wild kind of stage antics. For example, I remember seeing Of Montreal play one time, and they had all these like wild looking puppet people run out on the stage and do all this like dancing and stuff while they're playing. And then seeing Maynard's side project Pucifier play at Bonnaroo too, and they had everybody, all these people dressed up as aliens run out on stage. And I grew up kind of in a theatrical background when I was ever since I was 8 years old into high school, started doing theater. So I love, theater and theatrical antics and stuff like that. I think that's fun.
Yeah.
It's like a cool addition. And, and then the Old Crow show kind of had aspects of that too, where we did like, a bunch of buck dancing as part of it. And there was kind of parts of the show that were a show. There was a dance competition aspect, there was like, all right, we're going to do this here now. And I love a band that has a bunch of lead singers in it too.
Okay.
I love featuring everybody in the band.
Yeah.
So those are things, I guess, that inspire me, but I do have a hard time. And that's why I'm just trying to figure out kind of the direction I'm planning to go into for the next album, because with this acoustic music and kind of my upbringing, there's kind of two ways you can go. You can go either more country Americana, or you go more like the jam band kind of angle, and you get into the looks and the the hippy dippy kind of side of it, and the extended jams where like, all right, instead of making this a 3-minute song, we're going to make this a 10-minute song or whatever.
Yeah. There's, man, there's a lot of it out there right now of all of it. And I imagine it's difficult as an artist especially when you have like a wide range of interests and influences, to kind of decide what direction you want to go. Because if the market is saturated with one kind of thing and another kind of thing, now you're like, well, what do I do? You know what I mean? I think.
But I feel like sometimes that can give you a direction too. You know what I mean? Like if there's these two opposing sides and they're really huge and you have interest in both of them, it's easy to pick one or the other and not make a mistake. Do you know what I mean? Because you're supported either way. And it sounds like, especially from your background, you've got both of those things like deep in you. So, either way, I guess my question more is like, is there a third option? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
is there
where it kind of combines it all?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
I know I'd like to. I'm trying to figure out how to ride that line really. Because what I love more than anything that I think kind of is a through line with all this is just great songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I love the set lists.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favorite things with Billy or with the Dead or with whoever it is. It's like, I know the songs, then when they post the set list, and I love looking at it, because I might not even listen to the show, but I'll like think of how does that segue go in from this song into that one and all that kind of stuff. Really, it's fun. Yeah. And so I aspire to one day be able to kind of have these have such a breadth of repertoire where I can build these wild set lists that kind of do that,
Yeah.
to get to a point like, Billy, for example, I think when he played in Asheville for it was something he did 6 nights of shows, and it's a different set list each time.
Right. Yeah. Like Fish playing Madison Square Garden for 13 nights and not repeating a song.
Yeah. That's another level.
That's insane.
That's really, it's wild. But then I also come from, you want to promote the album that you're on.
Yeah.
This is kind of I guess a pivotal time for me with this album specifically, where I'm some of the old material I've put out in the past, I don't really resonate with it as much. I definitely love this album, so I want to play these songs. I want people to like them. So it's trying to get people to dig these songs when maybe they haven't even heard them yet. It's maybe I need to play them and not change the set list up too much.
Yes, I kind of actually do agree with that. How are we going to know what Mason sounds like if he's doing a bunch of other people's music? And of course we can get the feel of stuff, or get the feel of your voice and all that stuff. But what's Mason saying? What's this album saying? What's through his life and his experiences, what is that? And I think that's what's so awesome, because we all know those old songs, love them, but we don't know that new stuff, and we want to, this is why we interview you, or why people invite you to their festivals. They want to know what's going on with this new artist, that's not a new artist, but is going on their own.
I think too, that's the kind of what he's talking about though, with the two sides of the coin thing, because the people that are showing up to the show, if they're the Wooks, they're expecting something different than the other folks that are showing up to the show. Do you know what I'm saying? And so there's,
in common, we're all there to have a good time.
Yeah, and we're all there to see Mason.
Yeah, and that's what we have in common. And so I just feel like as an artist, sometimes, whatever chances you think you should take them, because that's what we're there for. Yeah.
But I guess for an example is, so I've been playing with this band some. They are definitely a jam grass band. And so when I play with them, we definitely lean heavy into the 10-minute jam kind of thing. This band Into the Fog, which they're kind of stepping back and not playing as much. But we played a festival last year that's 100% everybody's doing a bunch of psychedelics out there, dancing, doing the spinners and all this stuff. I mean, they are dancing like wild. We're out here at some hippie farm party in West Virginia, Mitchapalooza. So we played there last year, and then we played there this year. And then in my head, I'm all right, we need to do a totally different set than we did last year to give it to these guys and stuff. But then when you're playing these 3-hour sets as a new artist, it's a big ask sometimes to do that. So, and when you don't have a committed band that's always playing together all the time.
Yes,
it's, so there's ups and downs to both, So when you play the same set over and over, you get it super tight. Like when I was with Old Crow, it was a very similar set each night, but we were playing different crowd all the time, and they weren't seeing the same show. So it's not people are going on tour with the band.
Yes.
Okay.
Night after night, we're going to follow you kind of thing.
Right.
And you get that show down super anyway.
Yeah, tight. Yeah, you're able to hear each other.
Tighten it up. Yeah.
I think though, as jam band fans, part of the allure and stuff that, at least for me, that I love about that is the chance that stuff could fall apart. When the train wrecks happen, or the lyrics.
You love the human aspect.
Yeah,
of it.
man. For me, I love polished music. Don't get me wrong, but if it's too shiny, it loses something for me. I want to know that those people up there are like me and are doing their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, I love to hear that, man. That is reassuring.
Yeah. I feel like that's a lot of people. We talk to a lot of people, and that is kind of the aspect. It's like waiting for somebody to jump off the edge, and do they land? Stick the landing, or do they kind of stick the landing, or do they fall and get up and then ta-da? I think that's what's awesome about live music. music that you can't get from a recorded album. Like, you're not going to see the not stuck landing. You're going to see the perfect landing every time. But when we see you, we're like, oh my God, they're flying. Let's see where they land. And it's actually really cool.
Yeah,
it's
the people that I'm a fan of, like, I want to see them.
Yes.
And we're not perfect, man. We're all of it. I'm really screwed up and I have my shit together and I don't know what I'm doing and I got stuff figured out and it's all of it. And so when I go see people play, I want to see that and feel that coming from the stage. Not that I don't want to see a good set, but
Yeah.
I want to see the whole thing. And like, it's hard. It's
that's a lot of pressure. I would
that's
imagine.
What I was just gonna say.
Yeah, I would imagine that's a lot of pressure to try to like perform to that perfect gold standard every night, instead of just like, let's have fun out there.
Yeah.
I know how to play music. I'm gonna play what I can play, and we're gonna have fun with it. Not like they need to see this perfect set of these exact songs. No, like we want to see. Well, Mason, he's a little tired today. He, and that's cool. And his voice was
it's funny you say that. Yeah. Cause sometimes there's aspects of like clean and pristine, like, oh, okay, this is exactly, I'm in top shape. My voice feels good. Everybody's on it. Perfect show. But then there's aspects too, where it's like, okay, we got to drop the key down. We got to whatever, do this. Or like I'm singing, my voice is a little raspy or whatever, for whatever reason I'm pushing to hit it. Sometimes that sounds a different way, which I kind of also like,
Yeah.
where like there, I'm totally with you. Like the differences in each little performance, that's what makes live music great.
Yeah,
Totally.
I know this is like a out there kind of like comparison, but like you have, I don't know how long you've been with your partner or whatever, but it's like those days where you like see them in the morning and they kind of, their hair's messed up and you think they look great. Maybe they don't think they look great, but you think that they look great. Or, you plan on doing this awesome date night and then you end up like not feeling it and watching a movie and ordering in. And like both of those things are just as good as if you got dressed up and went to a fancy restaurant and got all dolled up versus the pizza with the jammies on. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like I feel like that's kind of how, music and concerts are. Like you can see that, like you said, like the cool polished puppets out there and like dance battles. And then, you have to start a song 3 times because you forgot what key we're in. And then now the third time was awesome. And I just feel like, I feel like that's okay in music. And maybe, I don't know, for yourself, I don't know if that's okay within, but from the outside, I feel like it's more than okay. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that I've realized through touring and having all those trying all that stuff out and all those different experiences is that like, if you're having fun, that's the main ingredient that you need.
Yeah. That's what
if you're having a good time, and then you can personify that, because really what I've learned more, people want a good story. You get up on stage, you got to try to reel them in, give them something, tell them a little bit about yourself, as well as take them on a journey and give them the show, give them some kind of show. But it's always a lot easier if you're having a good time, because people are coming to have a good time. And so if you're having a hard day, it's always harder. But like, I think just trying to make sure, I always try to just be grateful, that people are out here even listening and coming out, and just really thankful more than anything that I get to do what I love for a living, which is so cool.
I'm always curious, man, like what was it about the guitar that hooked you in the beginning?
Well, it's funny you say that, really. So because I played a whole bunch of different ones, but the guitar was just, because I love to sing more than anything.
Okay.
And it was the easiest kind of route of being able to accompany myself.
Oh, okay.
And I did play a little bit of piano, but I didn't have a great teacher on that. And so the guitar was kind of the easiest route of, all right, I got a couple chords I can run with this. And it was just for me, I played the bass, I played the mandolin, and I played a little bit of fiddle and piano and the trumpet and all that, a whole bunch of other things. But for me leading a band or, doing my own music, writing music, it was just always easier on the guitar.
Did you have like one solid teacher that taught you, or were you like all over the place, self-taught and some lessons?
Oh, yeah, it was a whole bunch of different things. And it's wild recently where like the world's a lot smaller place than you think it is. Cause sometimes even these people that like I've learned on YouTube videos now I've like met in person, which is wild. Like the other day in Nashville running into that guy, Marty Schwartz.
Oh yeah.
Who, like,
yeah.
Like I think I learned, whatever, some of my first rock songs, the first 3-4 chord rock and roll songs from him on YouTube when I was first starting to play the guitar. I met him and he was just the nicest guy. And so it's all, so I have had a connection with even somebody in this guy, Jim Pankey, who I was learning the banjo.
I love him so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I started too. Like with Jim Pankey. I mean, I am not a player. I can't accompany anybody, but
yes, you can. You can play with me.
I love his teaching style. Jim Pankey's so sweet and like fun. And like, I don't know. He's just a great teacher in my opinion.
Yes. It's because I think it's a big part of it too, for me, is when it's not just, because what he kind of prioritizes as part of his YouTube lessons and stuff is just feeling like he's your grandpa or something.
Yeah.
Totally.
Teaching you the banjo and you're sitting on the front porch in a rocking chair together. And he's just showing it to you no by no. But and I had a lot of those experiences in real life with some real teachers. I'd like to credit the McGees, who were like a musical family. Rex and Ralph McGee, both of those brothers were teachers of mine at different times, teaching me mandolin, guitar, so they're from Stokes County where I grew up, and then took some lessons with this guy, Clay Jones, who played with Mountain Heart and Shenandoah and a bunch of other country bands, Ryan Kavanaugh, and this guy, Parrish Ellis.
I know that.
Who was from Asheville, North Carolina. When I was in college, I learned a lot of fiddle tunes from him. So yeah, I would account for those people, but YouTube University helps a lot too.
Dude, lessons with Marcel. Do you know that guy?
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, he's some funny guy. I just went on and did a video with him, and we played some songs too. So check that out. Anybody who wants to look that up or watch something else. We were jamming on some songs. So I met him at IBMA in Raleigh, North Carolina years ago, just in one of the hallways jamming, and he's very approachable, nice guy. Yeah. But yeah, I think I learned some of my first Tony Rice solos from him too. Wow. Some of them hard licks that Tony plays all the time.
Yeah, I've learned, I think, all of the fiddle tunes I know from playing with him. YouTube
with Marcel, yeah. He's a great teacher.
Totally.
He's really fast on that whole, writing I was asking him, I was just show me how fast you can do this, man, writing out the different tablature and all that. But
it's insane.
No, but yeah, I mean, it's not all just, some people I know are just like, I just picked it up. Yeah. I wasn't like that. I have to go sit down and learn something.
So do you, when it comes to practice, do you have a regiment that you do for yourself? Do you have when I sit down, I'm going to do 15 minutes of this, or?
Not really. I used to, but nowadays it's more like I've learned all this through the years. I'll just sit down with the guitar and kind of get what I call get my fingers back in shape. Right. I'll sit with it and put some new strings on and just sit with it. Maybe sit with a metronome, or there's my buddy does, Mark Wilson. He makes these YouTube videos called Bluegrass Backing Track. And those are great because it's basically just like a robot bluegrass band that's playing along to this fiddle tune. You can kind of play along to that, set the YouTube different setting on there to, whatever. And that's a great way for me to practice along, just to get my fingers working. But I play along to the real recordings a lot of the time more than anything. It's just kind of second nature at this point. You just you practice by playing with people.
Yep.
Or going out there and doing it.
Well, I think the big thing with bluegrass music is it's not a solo endeavor. Like bluegrass music is a communal thing, and it's meant to be shared with other people and played and together. And so it's, you can practice at home. We had this bluegrass festival at this local brewery called Wolves and People. They do this thing called the Newgrass Festival. And we went out there. I went to this flat picking workshop. And the guy was like, look, you can practice at home and you can play Blackberry Blossom at 140 beats a minute and come here. Nobody gives a shit that you can play at 140 beats a minute. Can you play the rhythm correctly? Can you accompany the circle?
100%, man. And that's a huge thing for me. It's like I can tell with some of these folks who, depending on where they grew up, and I mean, the biggest thing that I feel like I've learned as I've gotten older is just being able to hear stuff more. You know, hearing kind of like, oh, okay, this is the difference in this and that, and I can kind of pick out the melody and pick out the harmonies stuff with my ears a little better than I have, and just my ear training of just kind of through osmosis, really more than anything, probably has gotten better just through doing it over the years and being exposed to listening to music all the time, playing all the time. And you're totally right, because you play with one band and it's this one timing, and then you play with a different band, it's totally different. If then you add drums, no drums, depending on who the bass player and the main player are, it could change a lot. So you're totally right. You play along to that robot as much as you want, but it doesn't really matter when it comes to actually getting into it. And then what you're saying is the biggest thing for me is rhythm, because, that's 80% or more of the song. And then, going to take a break is only like a little tiny piece of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was saying. He's like, you can go to a bluegrass jam and you're not going to be taking the break the whole time. 80% of the time is exactly what he said. You're going to be playing rhythm when you're in that bluegrass circle. So what should you learn to do first? You play the rhythm. And it's, I think that is for me, the most beautiful part of bluegrass music is that it's meant to be shared with people around you and done communally like that. Like you're talking about going to those fiddle camps. It was really eye-opening. That was like my first exposure to community bluegrass, was going to this thing. It was kind of mind-blowing, man. Like it felt like I stepped back in time in a really good way. Like when things were a lot more simple and people trusted each other and cared and wanted to share stuff and ate together and hung out, and we weren't all in our phone. Like it was really cool.
And like in certain parts, like kind of like you just mentioned a minute ago, depending on where you grew up, sometimes that's totally normal and it's like part of the culture. And in other parts, like if you're in a big city, that is not part of the culture. That is like, it's, it's something that you like have to seek out in order to find. It doesn't just easily fall in your lap. Where another thing is you're walking by someone's property and they're all out with their instruments having a hootenanny. You know what I mean? Like it's a really, that's why I think like bluegrass is the development in mainstream is so cool, because it is bringing in some of those old time kind of traditions of like spending time together, learning music, no phones, no, high fashion, no, you know what I mean? Like it's again, it's stripped down. It's stripped down. And I think that that's one of the coolest things about bluegrass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's difficult, I think, for people to understand the feeling that you get when you're playing bluegrass music period, with other people. There's something about that that's like extremely magical. It's a feeling that I haven't found anywhere else. When you lock in with somebody else and you're playing music or other people, it's transcendent. Do you find that is a thing that you're achieving most of the time when you're on stage? Because I know sometimes you can play and the thing doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Is that something that you're finding often?
Yeah, and you don't want to. It's hard to describe sometimes, because like you can wear out playing a song the same way over and over again, and kind of how you do it. So that's why it's fun to kind of change set list up and all that. But yeah, it also depends. Like sometimes there's people who, like, you could be the hot shot flat picker or picker or whatever instrument it is. You kind of buy the book perfect or whatever, but then here comes somebody do they play like a 3-note solo that just moves you in a different way? So sometimes, yeah, I've just kind of learned through playing with so many different types of people that like the beauty of the art, that there's aspects that can transcend all of it, and there's no real one way that connects to your heart or whatever. Because there's definitely an aspect to the music that is not just it's not just like, robotic or whatever, like just there's an aspect that's untangible, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Totally. And I've asked a lot of musicians the question of like, is chops or ear more important? And every one of them says ear is more important than chops, because if you've got the ear, you know where to play.
Yeah. And if you got the soul, none of that matters.
Yeah, totally.
So Mason, like if somebody didn't know you or never heard your music, they were going to go see you. How would you describe your sound and what you are putting up there? Like what would you say that your way is, or how you do things is?
Well, right now it's a lot of just me and the guitar with, I've been touring a lot with, I like playing with a fiddler just because I love the fiddle, and that kind of keeps, you got kind of, that's like my electric guitar is what I think of it. When it's just me and one other person, the Appalachian electric guitar is what I think of the fiddle as. So it's me and a fiddle player a lot of the time, and be ready for some country songs that'll put a tear to a glass eye, and then be ready for some kind of hoedown numbers that make you want to dance.
Yeah.
And then be ready for some kind of jam grass thing that'll put you in a spinner spiral for the psychedelic looks out there. Just a little bit of that. I've been kind of riding the line on doing a little bit of all of that, though.
That's awesome. How fun. And is this true that you play music with your wife? Are you married?
Yeah, I'm married. I just got married about 4 months ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and we're happily married. She's in there hanging out right now. We got a day off finally where we get to hang out. She's in medical school. I live in Gainesville, Florida.
Okay.
And I used to live in Nashville, and we're hoping to get back there, but I moved out here to be with her where she's in medical school at UF. She's a Gator.
Oh,
And she's got one more year here, and then hopefully we'll get back to Nashville. Or I grew up in between Stokes County, North Carolina, and Patrick County, Virginia, riding that state line. My dad's from Virginia, my mom's from North Carolina, and so thought about potentially getting back there too. So around one of those areas, definitely is kind of where I'm hoping to end up.
So you said you got a day off. Is there more tour to come?
Yeah, I'm about to play at this thing called Gulf Coast Jam in Panama City Beach. And that's just kind of a one-off where I got the amazing Bronwyn Keith Hines.
Oh, yeah, we had her on a while back. She's awesome.
And play some fiddle. And so I'm very thankful she's going to play some with me. And then Frank Evans, who's been playing with her, as well as he has this band, the Slocum Ramblers. And he's just amazing. So they're both flying in from Nashville to come play that with me, and
how fun,
and some other bluegrass buddies. But then I kind of get a little break, and I'm going on tour with I'm With Her, which I really love the sound of their new album. I don't know if y'all are familiar with them, but it's kind of like it's a bluegrass super group trio featuring the most famous probably is the gal Sarah Watkins, who was founding member of Nickel Creek.
Yep.
And then there's Sarah Jarosz and Aoife O'Donovan. So Aoife is known for Crooked Still and doing her own thing with being featured with Chris Thiele and Prairie Home Companion and a whole bunch of other stuff, But amazing vocalist. And then so their new album, it's just so. I've thought about kind of going in that direction where it's just kind of ethereal, folky kind of, there's pop aspects to it, but there's also kind of super ethereal, folky aspects of it that kind of take me into like a daydream, which I just love. Cool. And it was produced by this guy from Bonnie Light Horseman, I think, I forget his name, but just amazing record. And so excited to go on tour with that. And then I'm going on tour with the Wood Brothers in August.
Oh, geez.
So that'll be a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Man, you got
Yeah.
a big rest of the year.
Yeah, it's so we'll be, so I'll be touring the Midwest I'm with her, and then I'll be touring up and down the East Coast from New England all the way to down here in Florida where I'm at with the Wood Brothers.
Wow. Well, man, we wish you all the luck, brother. Thank you for doing this with us.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Finally hanging out with us, man. And please, we have each other's numbers. I'll stay in touch with you. We'd love to see you out in Sisters, man.
Yeah.
That'll be
exciting.
super easy. I'll probably be there. It seems like they were talking to me about doing some kind of workshops and stuff during the week. So I might be there for a few days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so come on down, hang out, and, check it all out.
Right on,
Get
man.
y'all in.
Right
Get y'all in. It'd be great.
Cool.
See the show or something,
All right,
Mason,
brother.
man, good luck with everything. You're doing awesome. And it's really cool to have somebody who kind of doesn't have it figured out. That's even more exciting to see what does come out.
Yeah, man.
So
Excited to see what happens.
yeah.
Yes. Anything's possible. I like the open-endedness of that,
Absolutely.
Amen to that. All right, brother. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Right
Thanks
on.
for everything.
All right. Peace and love and
Bye,
light. Y'all have a
Mason.
good one.
Yes, samesies.
Oh, man. That was
Sweetheart.
cool.
Total
Sorry Apple
sweetheart.
wasn't here for that. He would have done
Yeah.
that.
And that's so cool that he's doing that with Bronwyn
Yeah.
coming up.
Go check out Mason's new album. It's called Mason Via, self-titled. It's out everywhere. Everything is streaming. You know the deal. You guys know how to do music.
We know how to do music.
Right.
And
What?
I was just gonna shout out that song "Melt in the Sun." It's a really great song.
And I if I'm going to shout out a song on here, I got to shout out Fireball because it reminds
Okay.
me of you, Mel.
What? Okay.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Until next time, take care of each other. Smile at a stranger. Safety third. Hydrate. And
Pick up your instrument.
nice.
That's
Love y'all. Peace.
Like twists and turns, amazement turning, it's a journey. Wasting word is many problems, but it's a burden. Family needs has been deferred, and hella means been the earth. And alchemy can bring the birth, the melody of a newborn. So persistent, so resistant, so insistent, so commitment, so resilient, or haven't you learned it? One simple road. My windshield is shattered as I focus through the spot in the corner that is still intact. The react is both a defense mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A=A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
This is Lawrence Lanahan, journalist, musician, and host of Rearranged, an Osiris Media podcast about music arranging. Once a song is written, arrangers make musical decisions that shape how we end up hearing the song. And we're not just talking about adding orchestral accompaniment, like horns and strings, or doing a cover version of a song. Arrangement can be putting happy music over dark lyrics, using samples, recording all acoustic, even tiny decisions like putting an electronic loop into an acoustic song to draw your attention to an important turn of phrase. It's all arranging. Rearranged episodes are documentary essays where I use arrangements to answer some big questions like what is a song? And what can a song become? And how can the sound of a song change the meaning you take from it? Listening this way has changed my relationship with music. Tune into Rearranged, and maybe it'll happen for you too. Learn more at rearrangedpodcast.com.
Osiris.